Look, I grew up playing both Wizard101 and Pirate101. I have hundreds of hours in each of these games, and have found them to be some of the most engaging, story-driven, and rich MMOs of all time. But seeing as MMOs have been dying out in recent years, it's no surprise that we've seen a sharp decline in active players for both of these games. And this has been happening for years now. Though I remember a time right after Pirate 101 came out, and I used to speculate with my friends which 101-styled game would come out next. You know, stuff like Ninja 101, Knight 101, and Ninja Pig 101, obviously. But of course, there were no more 101 games after Pirate. It's a little weird, too. Since late 2012, Kingsile has kind of been sitting around, updating Wizards 101 here and there, maybe making a cheap mobile game or two, but that's it. No new full-fledged MMO that would put them back on top again. Nothing. Even now, it's highly unlikely that they're working on a new MMO. So let me explain why, and why now is actually the perfect time to start working on the next 101. Following Wizard101's stupendous success, Kingsile looked to continue their fame with Pirate 101, an exciting new take on the Wizard101 formula, looking to appeal to fans of strategy RPGs. The game was an excellent evolution of Wizard101 as well. You no longer had a simple pet that would sometimes be useful in battle, but a full-fledged partner that would be crucial to success. Also, the gameplay is very reminiscent of Fire Emblem. You control pieces on a board that interact with each other in a strategy board format. Thus broadens the potential appeal for Pirate 101 and makes it distinct from its predecessor. And despite having in-depth mechanics that separates it from every pirate-related title out there, it failed. Or at least when compared to the staggering success of Wizard 101. See, for whatever reason, perhaps oversaturation, Pirate 101 failed to make the same impact as Wizard. I mean, it still made and makes some money, but not anywhere near what I think Kingsile was expecting/hoping. But again, why? Well, what ended up happening was that over time, Pirate's player base slowly dwindled to a disappointing point. But then again, why did that happen? It was a vicious cycle that led to Pirate 101's unfortunate downfall. When Kingsile didn't update it for a while, people stopped playing, so they kept not updating it, and kept not updating it. And except for one story addition to Valencia, the games have been infuriatingly ignored. Instead, Kingsile opted to pour all of their resources into Wizard 101 for reasons that I'll get into in the next part. But for now, let's discuss how to save Pirate 101. Really, it's quite simple. Add a couple of major updates, revamp some worlds and story sections, maybe throw in a bit of marketing here and there, and boom, you're done. You have just single-handedly revived Pirate 101 back from the dead. Of course, these do need to be pretty huge updates, but for my money, it sounds like a small price to pay to save an entire MMO. It'll have to last, though. Simply expecting this to last forever is ridiculous. First off, I'd suggest dividing back into two development teams, one for Pirate and one for Wizard. So you can only get so many people to play Wizard 101. Eventually, people are going to grow tired of the gameplay, world, and story. So what better than to have another thriving MMO for people to go to? And by splitting it into two teams, Kingsile would be able to pour somewhat equal resources into both MMOs. With the right care and amount of consistent updates, Pirate 101 will actually be able to grow and eventually be considered a financially viable game by Kingsile. Now, why hasn't this happened yet? As Pirate 101 died out, Wizard 101 continued to flourish. Or at least it was still popular enough for Kingsile to update it consistently. It may not have been at its peak, nor is it there now, but it was still far more popular than the relatively dead Pirate 101. Therefore, when Kingsile grouped development teams for both games, they made the private decision to pour all of their resources into Wizard 101, and it's worked out for them, for the most part. Over the past few years, Wizard has maintained a somewhat consistent player base and has been the primary source of revenue for Kingsile. Now, I could go into a whole argument on how the reason it has a consistent player base is because it's updated, and if Pirate 101 got the same treatment, then it could be the new Wizard 101. But instead, let's discuss Kingsile's future. It doesn't have one. Ever since they focused all of their efforts on Wizard, they've gotten comfortable. Too comfortable. They stay in their comfort zone and only update Wizard101. There's no big new projects or expansions or anything that will put them back into the spotlight. It's like they've been in a rut, and for the past 5 years, they've just been doing the same old, never bothering to innovate again. Another company just like this is Valve. See, after releasing hit after hit, they grew comfortable. Except now with Half-Life Alyx, Valve has proven that they still know how to make a great game. But I don't know if Kingsile does. Despite Wizard101 enduring as Pirate101 faded, the time for Wizard's demise is near. The writing is on the wall for both games. Okay, that might sound a little too extreme, but what I mean to say here is that both of these games' player bases will continue to decay as time goes on. You can see this anywhere, by checking the Steam player bases, looking online, or simply just checking the game itself. It is nowhere near its height, that is for sure. And this is an industry-wide trend as well. In recent years, there has been a steady decline in MMO player bases worldwide. Until now. MMOs are making a comeback. World of Warcraft's 8th expansion is now the fastest selling PC game of all time. It sold 3.7 million units in just one day and shot to the top of the sales charts. See, for whatever reason, the decay of MMOs shall be short-lived. Perhaps it's nostalgia or just a shift in the market, but whatever the case, titles like WoW, Rift, and of course Pirate and Wizard101 are going to gain a surge of new players soon. I don't think it'll last, but at least it's something. And we are right at the precipice of MMOs gaining a new level of popularity. This is the perfect time for Kingsile to come out with a new 101-styled game. Wizard and Pirate came out in 2008 and 2013 respectively, so players are at that right age where they're going to start growing nostalgic and wanting to return to them. And what better way than to have a brand new, modern MMO that brings together the two formulas made by Pirate and Wizard101 and expands upon them. To me, it all makes way too much sense. Both of these games are growing stagnant in the sense that the gameplay, world, story, all of it's just growing a little too old. At least, for me that is. After 13 years of Wizard and 8 of Pirate, I want something new. Not a new update, something entirely new. A new game. I truly believe that Kingsile has squeezed every last bit out of these two games. And it's not a dock on them at all. I just mean to say that after over a decade, I want something fully new. Though with Pirate, I believe Kingsile can revive it and have both games going strong together in addition to a brand new game. But overall, my point really is that by having a new game, Kingsile would be able to appeal to all types of players by having a different and new experience that would cater to a different type of audience and a growing audience of MMO players, especially given how long it's been in between games. What's more is that Kingsile was just bought by MGI last month for a staggering $126 million. This is huge, not just for Wizard101, but the future of Kingsile. By being under new management, this might open up new opportunities for them to update Pirate101 as well as Wizard101 and push forward a new type of 101 game for the masses. Though, of course, time will tell how the acquisition will impact the company and what the future of both games will be. Though, I do have to say, the future of Kingsile and Wizard and Pirate, all of it ties directly into this acquisition as a whole, and I cannot wait to see where this is going in the future, and I can guarantee we'll see a massive impact on their games soon.